Kia ora e te whānau, welcome to Ata Marie, and tomorrow is going to be a big event in Tāmaki Makaurau, the Woodstock Fight for Life happening, and I'm on the phone with one of the fighters who will be competing tomorrow night, ex-New Zealand warrior and Kiwi, Monty Beetham. Kia ora, Monty.
Kia ora.
Hey bro, welcome to the show, cuz it's good to have you here.
No, happy to be here, mate, always a pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about your preparation for the Fight for Life, because I'm a big Warriors fan, so I'm supporting you on one hand. However, one of my cousins who you'll be fighting is from here in Te Tairāwhiti. He's from Rungo Mai Wahine, so I've got a foot in both camps, bro. So I'm not too sure if I want to support you or Shane Cameron.
Fair enough, and let's be honest, Shane's not a rugby boy either. He's the mountain warrior for a purpose. He is a leaguey. That's where his name derived from, and he's a good friend of mine, so it's going to be tough tomorrow night, that's for sure. But this week we've tapered off with training. The week before we had a really hard week trying to work as hard as we can, realising that we need to be in good physical conditions to fight Shane. He's definitely a guy who's been there, done it before, and he's going to be a hard challenge to climb on tomorrow night.
You guys are a main event for a purpose, because Shane Cameron, he's definitely he's paid his dues. He's done a lot in boxing, and you yourself have been in the boxing arena for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years since I've boxed as a professional. I've only had a dabble. I've had 5 pro fights, nothing of the calibre of the great man Shane Cameron, and he's obviously the Commonwealth champion and he's world ranked. But I'm thankful for the opportunity. He's coming in. He's fighting in rounds that are 2 minutes, not 3 minutes. So that should help me last or have an opportunity to go pretty well. But Shane always comes ready to fight. He's in physical condition. He's a fine specimen, and I'm sure we'll both put on a great show for a great cause.
It's definitely a great cause, raising awareness for prostate cancer.
Definitely, prostate cancer. 670 men die a year from prostate cancer. It's a young man's disease now. You get it at 40, so don't be afraid to go and get tests. It's only a blood test now.
It's quite what would you call it? It's been affecting Māori and Pacific Islanders quite a bit here in Aotearoa, hasn't it, Monty?
It has, man. It doesn't discriminate what nationality you are. But look, what we can do is we can make sure that we're not ignorant to it, that we get the test done. Like I said, it's easy now. It doesn't take much. And then if we look after ourselves, we can invest in our families and make sure that we look after our children.
Well, Monty, I'm rooting for the league boys, because I'm a big NRL and rugby league fan. However, it does look like a bit of a conspiracy that rugby union had to bring in a professional boxer in to represent them, bro.
Yeah, a bit tough. I had 4 guys that were ready to fight me, but they pulled out all at the last minute. I told Dean I was ready to fight. Give me a fight, please. I didn't expect it to be the Mountain Warrior, so when he told me, I had to sit down and think about it. Then I was a little bit worried, but he said, look, put yourself in their shoes. That's what they're going through, so have a go. And to cut a long story short, this is it. Tomorrow night, it's all on.
And you're absolutely right regarding getting checkups for prostate cancer. Back in the day, you had to get the old finger with the glove on, and however, it's easy peasy. Right now, you can just go and get a blood test.
That's right, mate. It's not hard. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, and can save lives. That's a lot of lives a year lost from a simple test that you can get done and get it early, and then be able to detect it and get rid of it.
Monty, I just want to talk a little bit about your league career, because I'm a big New Zealand Warriors fan. Tell us a little bit about your career for the Warriors and how you become a captain of the Warriors.
Yeah, it's very, very privileged. I mean, I was born and bred in Auckland. I signed a scholarship with the Warriors at the age of 15. I played with the Junior Warriors. We're in the grand final in the under-19s. So in 97, I signed a full-time contract, and it's been great, playing in front of all your loved ones, friends and family, and captaining the team at the age of 24 was huge, especially with the likes of Stacey Jones and Ivan Cleary and Kevin Campion around. And it was a roller coaster of years. We had our good and we had our bad, but the bad made the good times that much better, and we've got memories for life, and we still see a lot of friends to this day. And now I'm a big fan of the club, big fan like you, brother, and supporting the boys. And last year was outstanding, watching them in the grand final.
Now, talking about the highs and lows of being a professional athlete, I can guess that your highest would be the 2002 Grand Final. But what would be the highest point for you, and the lowest point for you in the Warriors team?
For the Warriors team, probably one of the lowest points was when I got booed at home by some of my home crowd. That was a low point because, I grew up at the club living and dying for the cause, and to have that happen was a bit sad, and probably was one of the reasons why I left. But that's all water under the bridge now, and some of the highs was, unfortunately, the year I made the captaincy, I wasn't able to play in the grand final. I was injured, so it was mixed emotions, mixed feelings, but still proud the boys were there. And then playing with some of these guys like Ruben Wiki and Alwyn and Stacey and that, and playing in these grand finals, playing in the build-up games in 2003, we were one game off the grand final. That was a huge high. When we played Canberra, it was a sellout crowd, and they reckon that the crowd was even louder than what it was the year before in the grand final.
Can you tell me who was maybe a couple of the toughest opponents and best opponents that you've ever played up against, Monty?
The way I describe this to many people, I say if I had a game where my life depended on it, the forward that I choose would be someone called Gordon Tallis. Why? Because he's a ferocious man. He can attack, he can defend, he can put a big hit on, he can score tries, and he can lead by example and lead with inspiration. The back that I choose is Andrew Johns. He can kick goals, he can lead a team around the park, defensively he can come up with some big hits. Once again, he's inspirational, and he can turn a game. So for me, those two players are probably the first two that I'd pick if my life depended on the game.
Oh, talking about next year's Warriors' chances in 2012, I was talking to Wendell Saylor a couple of days ago, and he was rating the Warriors' chances really highly. What about obviously you're a big fan, and I guess that you'll predict them to make the grand final again in 2012?
It'd be nice. Normally when you have a team make the grand final, they go close again the following year, or one of the two teams go close. And I'm picking us to go close. I was on the grand final, I was hosting the Willemins Tour, and I was coming back on the boat, and Blue McLennan was there, and he was bubbling because he was fizzing about what he just saw and how hard the boys worked and what he could bring to the team this year. I like that we've signed Sean Johnson on for long term, Thomas Littlewy coming back, but I think next year could be a year, and James Maloney sticking around for one more year. I think he'll make his presence felt. But I'm liking Ben Matalino and these young boys coming through at the same time. I'm loving the fact that it's a lot of New Zealand local talent coming up. I think the under-20s have been outstanding in terms of really bringing us on some inspirational young boys.
So tell us who you predict will be getting right up there from the under-20s, including that young superstar, that centre, Conrad Harrell.
Yeah, Conrad Harrell, he's been outstanding. He just breaks tackles for fun. That's something you can't coach. I think he's still maybe 1 year off it. I think one of the dark horses will be Carlos Tuamavavi. I think you might see him coming into that centre position. He may even come off the bench and play a number of positions, whether it be centre or even in the halves. He's outstanding. He's actually got a big frame on him, and I think when he fills out, he'll be one guy that everyone will know about because he's surely exciting, and I think he'd make a good centre as well.
Before we do get back to talking about the fight for life, just one more thing about one of your fellow fighters who will be on the card representing Liga, Isaac Luke. He's been in the media for quite a few months now regarding the cannonball tackle and his comments on Rangi Chaser. Can you what advice would you give Isaac Luke, especially since he's so young?
Yeah, look, I spoke to Isaac Luke when he came back from the tour. I think he's sort of taken heed from what happened on tour and realising that he needs to just put his head down and play the game that he's good at because, mate, he's an outstanding talent. I've never seen a hooker that is so gifted like he is. And he can learn a bit from my game and realise that you don't need to do all the big tough stuff or the stupid stuff, and just do what you do well. And for that guy, it's everything. He can attack, he can defend. He's one of these players with X factor. So maybe he was frustrated because how the Kiwis were travelling over there in England. He wasn't happy with that. But you can't always wear your heart on your sleeve. You have to be a bit smarter, and I think he'll do that. He's only a young boy, but man, his future is bright.
So we got the Woodstock Fight for Life happening tomorrow night, and what's your words out there to encourage people to support the event?
Oh, look behind the event in any way possible. I know a lot of people have been giving out to Christchurch and every other sort of event, but look, there's some legends, there's some real legends of both codes fighting off for a great cause for prostate cancer. So beyond all, it's going to be a good watch. You can get that on Sky Arena and have a bit of fun seeing some of the old versus new, or some of the old versus old, Dad's Army in some cases, but it's going to be a bit of fun.
So what's your prediction, rugby or rugby league?
League, I like rugby league.
Sounds good, Monty. Thank you for your time, bro, and good luck against, well, I don't know if I should say good luck because you're fighting my man, Shane Cameron, bro, but too much supporting the cause for prostate cancer, cuz.
Thanks, brother. I'm going to need the luck, man.
Good luck, bro, Monty. That was Monty Beetham. He'll be fighting Shane Cameron. He'll be fighting Tūranga FM's very own Shane Cameron tomorrow night in the Fight for Life. Stay tuned to